And I want to show you all the ways you can embed Buckaroo. This is a narrated tour of different ways you can embed the Buckaroo table widget in different contexts. So if you haven't seen it before, the Buckaroo table widget displays data frames from pandas, polars, and Zork expressions. We can search and see summary stats. This is a data frame about City Bike, sort, and do all these great things. This is Buckaroo in the Jupyter notebook where it started. Buckaroo also embeds into notebook environments like Marimo, VS Code, Colab, Interact, and Jupyter Lite. This video is about all the other places you can embed Buckaroo and how you do that and what the trade-offs are. So a little bit of an overview of Buckaroo. There are two widget classes of Buckaroo. There's a Buckaroo widget, which has this Chrome up here, and then there's the DF viewer, which is down here, just the table. And then there is a Buckaroo widget base and a Buckaroo widget infinite. Buckaroo widget base sends all the data to the web browser at load time. Infinite makes paginated responses as you scroll. So, yeah. Just see how it goes none, and then there's the data there. And then there are the backends. We have pandas, polars, and Zork. Zork is built on top of IBIS, so you can connect to DuckDB, Postgres, Snowflake, BigQuery, amongst others. There are 5 ways to embed Buckaroo. I just showed you Buckaroo widgets. Let me show you static HTML. So here we're going to write out a single file, and this single file is in DF viewer mode. So there's no Buckaroo Chrome here, and this is 75,000 rows of City Bike into a single file that you can just email to someone. It's a 7 megabyte file, and that might sound big, but where are my notes on this? The Databricks homepage is 13.5 megabytes raw, 5 megabytes gzipped. Snowflake is 16 megabytes raw and 9 megabytes gzipped. So 75,000 rows in 7.7 megabytes. It's pretty good. You can do a lot with this. You can't do the more interactive parts of Buckaroo. In mode 3, you can embed into your own HTML page. And here, this would be if you're serving, this is very similar to mode 2. It's still static. You're still sending all the data to JavaScript because there's no server. But here you can point at esm.shell for the Buckaroo module, so you don't have, so your page weights are a little bit smaller, or you can host Buckaroo yourself. Okay, now I'm going to show you embedding Buckaroo server. So Buckaroo server is a server that kind of does what Jupyter Notebook does, but as a standalone program. And for this example, we're going to read restaurant complaints for Boston. We're going to do a little bit of filtering, a little bit of styling of the Buckaroo widget. So we're going to make text wrap, and we're going to somewhere, we make the columns, the rows taller. There we go. So we run this, and then it has started a server, and we can navigate there. So, like I said, Buckaroo looks a little bit differently here, but that's fine. We have summary stats, but most importantly, we have search. So we see staff, and it's searched through. Now, this is a 450 megabyte CSV file, 450,000 rows, 38 megabytes Parquet file. And it will search as we type. Oily. There we go. Close that. So that was as an iframe. And you get this URL, localhost 8701/iframe. That's useful, but there are other contexts where it's more useful. The other important thing to understand there is like it's running a full Buckaroo server. So data is going back and forth from the server to the client. It's not sending that whole 38 megabyte Parquet file up to the client. You can do the full suite of Buckaroo interactivity, including post-processing, cleaning, and the low-code UI, which is not in this demo, but it's there. More likely, though, if you wanted to integrate Buckaroo into a serious app, it'll probably be a React app, and you can just embed it with this Buckaroo server view component, where you specify the WebSocket URL, and it just works. So let's take a look at that. No. And so this is the Chrome of our sample app, and we can search for stuff, debris. So there, that's pretty useful for more full-fledged apps. Going back to Buckaroo. There's also the raw JS embedding. So we have Storybook for Buckaroo, and I'm going to go to a DF viewer story. And here we can see we have 4 rows here, 5 rows actually. And we have, this is what the raw data for the DF viewer component looks like. You're setting in DF data in this format. We have column configs, we're setting column name, region, header name, what type of displayer to use, pinned rows, you notice there are no pinned rows there, and left column config, which is the index column. We call that header name. We have docs, so you can use this. It's more a reference of how Buckaroo works. You'd have to, if you wanted to use this for a serious app, you have to be really careful about how you encode nan and null. Buckaroo has done an extensive amount of work to properly encode those numeric values. But you can use it. It's there. I mostly use it for debugging. It's there though. But about that column config and theme customization, so there are many, many ways you can style Buckaroo, and we have docs for that. Here's the column config docs, and we're just here, we're configuring different ways of displaying date times. I think these are all the same object, but just you set a different displayer, you can display it differently. This is also using the embed framework, this docs page. You can display links. You can display histograms, not just as a pinned row, but actually as data in a row. You can display charts as data in a row, or you could use this to figure out how to make a chart for your own pinned row of charts. Image displayer, you can do images, embed a PNG as base 64. Color rules, so here float column is colored by the value of int column. So I've sorted by int column, and scrolling through, and we see this nice color thing. But if we sort by float column, nothing. You can color categorical, like you can say, when this row is this color, when this row, what am I doing? Forget how exactly I configured this. If you dig in, there are ways to do it. Error highlighting, tooltip, and how you configure pinned rows. And then theme customization. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can customize all of these features. So you go from pretty stock looking Buckaroo to these themes to high contrast to something that looks a lot like Bloomberg, compact, to wide, more normal styling. Yeah, so there are lots of ways to customize Buckaroo. Excited to hear feedback. Give it a try. If you need a feature, talk to me, and let's figure it out. I hope we can get you integrating Buckaroo into your apps. Thank you.